Okay, your firefighting crew, your team B, me and Justin are assigned to do a primary search on a structure. As a company officer or the team leader, one of the most important things you need to do with a clear plan, you can go to work and really limit the confusion and any problems that are going to come up in the primary search. Justin's going to talk about the basic tool selection that we're going to bring to the front door.
So when we get off the rig, we usually have teams of 2. So depending on if we're ahead of the hose line or behind the hose line, we have the can, and the can's typically used just to confine the fire. If you got an open doorway, whatnot, you got fire licking out of it, we're just going to cool it off, reach in there with a tool hopefully and whatnot, maybe a sweep if you can, and confine the fire to that. We take 2 sets of tools with us to at least the front door. Steven usually takes our set of irons, and we have a strike. I usually strike, and he's a Halligan guy. So before we go inside, Steven always has a Halligan, and we use it typically, unless it has it's a high security structure, we just keep the axe on the outside of the door. Myself, I bring the hook and a Halligan, and I take this to the front door after we force the door. So after we force the door, we want to make sure we sweep if we're not ready to make entry. So if my officer's back here and he's still masking up, I'm going to do a live fire layout. I'm going to come in. I'm going to get low, hook my foot, do a nice sweep, and as I'm looking up, I'm looking from the ground, keep my eyes below the smoke level, and looking up for life. So I'm going to do a full sweep of the area. I'm looking for anything I can see life. I'm looking for the fire, where the smoke is traveling, where it's coming from, if I can see any glow. And I'm also looking for layouts. I'm looking for stairwells, doors, trying to get a good picture so when I come back out and I talk to my officer before we make entry, that he knows the conditions and he knows our actions. We're going to go in, we're going to go left because we're going to go upstairs where the bedrooms are. So we can have some kind of plan before we make entry. Once we come in, we take the hook. When I bring the hook in, I come through the threshold, I pop holes in the ceiling just as we do in fire attack, make sure fire is not in the attic and it's not getting above us and behind us. And then I set it inside. I do not take a 6-foot hook with me throughout a full structure unless there's special needs. I too as well will take my Halligan, so both my partner and I each have a Halligan in the
Right, so as we enter the structure and we've already had our live fire layout figured out and we've determined our smoke conditions, let's get into the actual positioning and how we're going to do our search through, whether we're going to be doing like a crouch walk or we're going to actually get down and do a slide on our knee, or if we're going to actually get way down and have to do just a quick reach in on our bellies, do a quick sweep and get out. So we'll kind of demonstrate that as we go through. It's going to dictate, the smoke's going to dictate how we do this. Remember that per policy we have to be within voice, vision, touch, or tether, and those ways of accountability are going to be played into what the type of smoke conditions that we have. So if we move into here and we have decent visibility in this room, this is maybe our walking or our crouching, where we're going to kind of get the layout. Smoke levels maybe up to here. We can kind of get down and we can move through. Justin's going to go through, open up the door, expecting different type of conditions in here. We open up this door and we find out that we have smoke conditions are down low, so our crouching, walking isn't working. We need to get down into our technique where we're actually going to be doing like a slide. The idea with this is that our feet are out first and we're feeling with our feet. Our weight is behind us, so if we encounter a staircase or a hole in the floor, we're not committed. Utilize your foot and your leg for sweeping and for sounding. As to keep oriented through the structure, the oriented person, depending on smoke conditions, take your tick and look back at where your exit was. You're going to look up, you're going to keep an eye on your smoke conditions, you're going to look at your firefighter and look at the layout of the room. Every time you progress and you stop and you're searching off in another direction, always look back. All right. So now we have a room that's actually banked down with smoke, and Justin's going to come in here and search. We have very, very poor visibility. You don't want to get your tool as your sounding board for this. You want to get your hands out there. If you are doing a sweep with your tool and you run into something, set your tool down, get your hands on it. You can see he's keeping accountability in the threshold by keeping his foot in there. He did a nice big sweep, covered a big area, got out, controlled the door. Go and turn it off. Okay, so now we come in a low visibility, and you can see that Justin actually hit something with this tool. He's going to get his hands on it. He's going to actually use his hands. He lost a sense of vision, so he's going by feel. Really take what you have. If it's a bedspreads, pillow, get your hands in there and run your hands through it. Up on a chair, up on a desk, under a desk. Don't rely on your tool to tell you what you're running into.
When we go upstairs, we don't know if there's going to be fire below. You want to step wide. You want to step on our stringers. Our stringers are typically at least in the exterior sides of it. So if you can step wide, it keeps us into a stable.
Okay, one of the things that we found in our Italian training a couple months back when we were doing search is that when people get really uncomfortable, the muscle memory is to go on your hands and knees. So low visibility, no visibility, hot conditions. We find that our crews were coming up and searching with their hands. The problem with that is when you encounter stairs, your weight is forward, you have nowhere to fall back, and it's going to take you down a staircase or in a hole in the floor. So this reiterates the point of us actually having our weight back, sounding with our foot, making noise, and if this stair is giving out, my weight's up on top. I can always just retreat back real easy. That's good.
All right, hey, we got high vis, low heat. Looks like we got hallway to the right.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do a split search. You go ahead and go right, I'm going to go left.
Okay.
So as we come in to do a split search, it's determined by the amount of smoke that we have, how good our visibility is. So if we come into a situation like this where the report is that we have good visibility, that we can travel through, we can break up a little bit, that's completely fine because we're still within the policy of voice. So as Justin goes through and does his search and I do my search, we're going to be making audible noises, banging on stuff. Everything that we hit, we're going to make a sound. It doesn't only help with our search, but it just helps with the confidence of where the crew member is. Okay, so as smoke conditions get worse, this split technique is going to go out the window really fast. A good example of a split search is going to be a center hallway like Lakecrest Apartments where we're above the fire. There's light smoke up in the hallway. We get into the rooms and then we're finding that the rooms are clear. We can search that whole floor quicker by doing a split search. Justin going one direction, me going another. We're oriented still because we have good visibility. Anytime the visibility gets compromised, this search technique is out the window and we're going to go to something else.
We're going to talk about oriented search. Oriented search happens when we have low vis, zero vis, sometimes high heat. What I'm going to do on the oriented man, I usually have the tick if there's only one. We're going to go in, we're going to size this building up. I'm going to, as Dan's we'll call him the dog. He goes in, I'm sweeping the ceiling, I'm sweeping for any kind of egress, and I'm looking for victims on the floor with my tick. I'm staying oriented to the conditions to the outside. I can close this door, just depends on conditions in the hallway, but I want to make sure that we have good egress. So as we come in here, I'm staying oriented to the exit. I'm guiding Dan. Dan, hey, we need far left, go left. Yep. So I'm just telling him where to search. Whatever I can't see of my tick he's hitting, he doesn't have to come through this whole building. If I can see from the front door, this area here, I'm not going to have him hit the area. I'm going to have him hit behind here where I can't see, probably in the corners, and then I'm going to have him come directly back to me. Okay. All right, so for the search drill this year, we want to accomplish three things. When we force the door and prior to us making entry, I want to make sure that we do live fire, layout, size up. The search guy comes back outside, makes a plan with the other firemen they're doing a search with, either a split search, VES, oriented search, before they make entry. Then I want to make sure we're talking about search positioning. We have high visibility search, we're walking, we're upright. We got a tool in our hand. We're making moves. We're making quick moves. You know, getting our eyes underneath beds and closets, stuff like that. But besides that, it should be pretty quick. When you got moderate visibility, you might need to get low, get a little bit below the smoke level. But you can move whatever way you want to move, whatever's quick. But I need to make sure that we would like your guys' eyes below the smoke. When you start getting to low visibility and zero vis, is that you know, you need to get real low. The tripod position is good because it keeps your weight back. It allows you to have a tool in your hand. It allows you to keep sweeping. You can move as fast this way as you can with upright. You don't have to worry about tripping over things, and you keep your eyes and your hands low where the victims are. So with this, the only reason that I'm going to be on my belly is when it's hot, when it's zero vis and hot. And typically, when I'm on my belly, we're going to be doing a sweeping motion. We typically don't like to sweep with tools because tools don't have feelings. If you make entry in the door, you hook your door with your foot, and you make a full sweep, make a wall-to-wall sweep. And if you want to make, instead of having a tool, want to make two more feet inside the door, then come off the wall a couple feet and make your search. Come back and make sure come back and search. So as I think about it, I had 3 things, but now I want to talk about 4 things. The other thing is going to be about isolation. When we VES, we're going to isolate. That's our number 1 thing, right? If we can't isolate, we got to find a door to make it so you can isolate. If we're in hoarder houses, you might need to be ready to clean some stuff out of the way to make sure you can shut that door. But you're not just affecting that room; you're affecting the ventilation of the whole fire ground. When we're going into rooms and searching, that'll be center hallway at Lakecrest, or if we're in a residential home, that you can go inside, you can shut your door and isolate, take the window, let the smoke rise, and leave. But when you leave, you need to shut that door. If you miss a victim, it's going to make it more tenable for them, and then also you're lessening the fire spread, the possible fire spread. Thanks.